Hello and welcome to the video. Before we get started, if you'd like to provide input on future content and get our weekly newsletter, click on our survey. The link will be below. We also have a report on Ethereum 2, along with a bonus report on why you should learn Solidity now. Again, the link will be below. Now on to the video, and thank you. Okay, so today we're going to take a little break from Motoko and talk about another project that one of my viewers asked me to discuss, and this is a very exciting project called Solana. So Solana is gaining popularity in the blockchain world for several reasons. First of all, it is scalable and fast and has low transaction cost. And another big thing is that the emphasis on decentralization. This was very similar to in the motivation for the internet computer, in that we don't want a company or a government or one entity to be able to shut us down if we want to do whatever. Legal, of course. Again, it goes back to the Parler example. Parler was out of favor politically, and the big tech companies kind of ganged up on it and shut it down. Just like with the internet computers, something like Solana can protect against that. So that, and the other nice thing is there are multiple ways to get involved. You can do validation staking, you can do development, and development has been on things like DeFi, NFTs, and things of that nature, so popular things. So the first thing that we're going to discuss is the fact it's scalable, fast, and low cost. And according to their documentation, they do things differently. You know, we talked about proof of work, proof of stake. Well, they use something different that I've not heard about before, called proof of history. And the way they describe it in their documentation is that you have these leader nodes that timestamp blocks with cryptomatic proof that some duration had passed since the last proof. The data is hashed into the proof, because we have a timestamp. We know it has to have occurred prior to it having been generated. And I think they talk about that here. Do they talk about it here? I guess they're going to talk about it more when you get into the docs. So, when you get into the documentation, they're going to talk about this a bit more in detail. But that kind of technology allows for these things of speed and decentralization. They also mention that the blocks, since we know that the proof is already generated, it can shares the new block with the validators, knows who verify it. And it doesn't matter what order they get to the validator in. And because they synchronize based on history, they synchronize based on proofs that have completed. You can break it into the blocks into even smaller batches, and they call those entries, and they go real time to the validators before you have any kind of block consensus. So that allows for it to be scalable, fast, and minimize transaction costs. So that's the first thing. The second thing, as we've mentioned, is it is decentralized. Let me see if I can show you this. Let's see. Let's look at this. Is this what I wanna? So this is their mainnet beta that is loading right now. But what you'll see if it comes up, okay, did they show? All right, this is, I want to look at a different picture that I was looking at before. Let's see, network performance, I think that might be, we can look at that if it'll let me. Click on it here. Now this is the mainnet beta that they're measuring here. Here's the one. Now notice this. Let me make sure you can see it. Notice this. This has, look at how these nodes are distributed throughout the world. You have a bunch of them in Asia. And Asia is very open for business, if you will. So you have Asia here. You have Europe right in here. And of course in North America. Now I'm surprised I don't see anything in Australia or South America. But you can see how distributed it is. The other one that we can look at is, let's see if that'll come up. Stake distribution. Let's see what this one looks like. Validators. Okay, here's another map. This may be this looks like it's, so this is, so cumulative stake above, so this is what they're saying is, ooh, this is no good. This is too many, and we want more distribution. So they're trying to encourage people to stake. And this shows while they're concerned. What's this? These are different. This small group of entities has 36% of the stake. So, and the final thing, so we can see that there is they're focused on decentralization. Obviously not quite as much as they want yet, because this is, remember, if you look at these pictures here, let me see, we're looking at, it says mainnet beta, which means it is not come up to full speed yet. It's still in beta. And finally, they do give you multiple ways to get involved. So you can, and they talk about this here. Go down. As validators. And we can take a look at that real quick. So you have to have certain performance requirements to become a delegate. There's stake pools. So they talk about that. Various ways to get involved in that. Again, this is more decentralization. And this goes back to what we were just discussing about censorship resistance. So that's how you get involved as a validator. And of course, validators can earn coin. Now, of course, as a developer, let's see what they got here. And we're going to go with, this is obviously the focus here. So we'll be going into this. Oh, this does not like that. Let's see if I can get a... There we go. So this is their GitHub. So let's look at Solana Labs, Solana Foundation. So they have Solana, Scaffold for DApp, Solana Program Library. So that's, and explore the docs. This is where they explain everything, obviously. Start building, run a validator node, manage a wallet. So, and they also have learn how Solana works. And this goes into the architecture. So what you see is there are, to summarize, there are three main key takeaways with Solana. One, in terms of performance, scalable, fast, low cost, by using a new type of validation, consensus, synchronization. The emphasis on decentralization, that the whole idea is we want everything decentralized. The more decentralization, the more censorship proof, if you will, the more no one group can control us proof. And finally, that there are multiple things you can do as an individual to get involved. If you're not a programmer, you can run a validated node, you can stake. And of course, and one thing I forgot to mention that they talk about there, they're building a framework called Anchor, I believe, to make the development process easier. Finally, they have, and this I didn't mention in terms of getting involved, community. They have a Discord and other means of communication. So if you're interested, join the Discord. A lot of these projects have Discords, and I do like Discord because of the simplicity of getting on there and being able to see what's going on. It's one place that you can look rather than, okay, this one's using glitter and this one's got their own thing going on. But a lot of the projects that we've seen have Discords, not just Solana. A number of them do that we've looked at. So anyway, hopefully this has been interesting. And I would encourage you to go and have a look at Solana. And we will be doing more about this. And I haven't figured out how to mix this with the Motaku. I'm thinking maybe I can make, mix them up different days, or eventually make a, a separate training for Motaku or something. It seems like there's a small number of people who are interested in it, and I want them to be able to go through the docs with them. But I also want to present stuff that is of more general interest to the audience, to my audience here. So anyway, I will speak to you next time, and take care.